Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. So, I just finished watching Lost Girl for like the second time. A part of my redoing situation that I have been doing. So, two things. One, I know I didn't mention this in the last video with Nikita when I reviewed Nikita. But Nancy Drew. Let's touch upon Nancy Drew for a second. Because it seems like she's been making her runs throughout the whole Arrowverse situation. First in the original Charmed series was the original first 8 seasons of Charmed. And in Roswell, which they mentioned her name in Roswell, I think in one of the seasons. I forget which one. Also, in Nikita, by this time, when Nikita ends or starts and ends, Nancy Drew was about 11 when this happened, when the events of Nikita happened, and when the events of Lost Girl happened. Because let's look at the facts here. It's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence that in Earth 1, Nancy Drew has been making her name known through the witch community in Charmed, the original Charmed, the first 8 seasons of Charmed, and in Roswell, Arizona, where aliens reside or live, and in Nikita, which is a spy assassin show. Also, in the Fae community, which are technically considered mutants or metas, supernatural mutants or metas, the mystics or the mystical, mythological side of things. It's no coincidence that this is Earth 1. And Nancy Drew is well known at this point. For an 11-year-old or a 11-year-old, things are starting to add up. And then we get to see Nancy Drew, but that will be touched upon later when I close up with the whole Arrowverse situation. So, yeah. So, with me redoing this, it kind of adds up that Lost Girl is on Earth 1, and it is set 2 years prior to Oliver Queen being on Lian Yu, aka working for August on Earth 1. And I think it takes place in, even though they don't say directly where it takes place, I think it takes place in Seattle, which kind of makes sense in a way. So yeah, I mean, they don't really touch upon where the actual place of Lost Girl takes place, but I'm going to imagine it takes place in Seattle, because they certain things they say, like, my cousin is an illegal, which begs the question that Mexico, and it takes place in America, so I'm assuming it takes place in somewhere like Midwest, upper Midwest, or like Eastern Midwest, I don't know. I'm guessing. Also, it is about a girl who finds out she's a succubus and she doesn't pick a side, and shenanigans happens, both from the dark side and the light side, coming after her because they hate her guts. Not necessarily hate her guts, but like they hate her for like going away, like going out of the way, or her way, to like define thousands of traditions and their way of life, And also, the girl who I believe plays Kenzie was in Nikita. But here's the thing. In Nikita, she was a child sex slave for the Russians, and we get to see some Russian from her. So some Russian speaking in her, so that kind of makes sense why she went from being a child sex slave for Russia, or in a Russian child sex slave, to meeting a succubus in like Seattle. I'm guessing Seattle, somewhere in that Midwestern, Eastern, Western area. And she helps the succubus after getting clean, of course. And they meet and help other supernatural, paranormal, mythological creatures by doing some investigations or some PI stuff. And there's a reason why Sam and Dean don't go to these certain go to these areas, because they're low level and they are stopped before they they take care of it ahead of time before it reaches the general public. So that's why there's no mention of Sam and Dean, aka the Winchesters, because they're working on their own cases and it's small potatoes for the Winchesters and stuff like that, or people like that. So, yeah, it kind of makes sense why we have these supernatural beings dealing with other supernatural mythological fantasy beings, while the other side, aka Sam and Dean, are working on their own cases and dealing with their own situations and problems and stuff like that. So, kind of makes sense. Also, I will be getting back into more once I get out of the once I get done backtracking, which I'm almost done backtracking. I will be doing more of this, and also this is like the first step to introducing Constantine. So it kind of makes sense that you want to start with supernatural, mythological, and paranormal stuff because of Constantine. So, yeah. I mean, it kind of introduces Constantine into that fold as well. So yeah. That's all I have for you guys so far. Please like, share, subscribe, and let's try and get to 150 subscribers, please. Because it would help me a lot. Because that's the next goal. Start small, then go big, you know? Reasonable. Anyways, yeah. I will be back later with Mortal Kombat, and then tomorrow I think a couple other shows, maybe a few, like look back on Powerpuff Girls, season 5. What else? Jupiter's Legacy, and probably Shadow and Bone, which I'm working on doing or getting to. But anyways, once again, that's all I have for you guys so far right now. Please like, share, subscribe, and have a good day. Thanks. Bye.